Now here we have a fragrance that features cardamom, orris, there's cypriol, saffron, black pepper, tobacco, davana, composed by perfumer Claude Durr. In today's Cephalabon contributor video, I'm going to be reviewing a fragrance by Gentleman's Nod. This one is called Damascus 01. If you are a fan of sophisticated cardamom perfumes, definitely check this out, and also make sure to stay tuned for a very special giveaway opportunity. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Damascus 1 by Gentleman's Nod, this is a perfume that I recently discovered. It's a cardamom, orris, davana, cypriol, tobacco-based fragrance with a lot of spices. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really, really mean a lot to me. So, here's the thing, if you want to participate in the special giveaway, all you have to do is shoot on over to cephalabon.com. It's going to be the first link down below in the description box. And after you've become a registered reader, all you have to do is just drop a thoughtful comment on the article. It's a very simple process. Just make sure to check back on over to cephalabon.com on the date that's mentioned in the article, because that's when the winner is going to be announced. So if you won, you want to make sure that you don't miss that important announcement, right? So here we have a perfume called Damascus 1. And of course, this is one that I recently discovered, and I've reviewed Tusitalia, I've reviewed Lawman, I've discovered a few from the brand. Now, this is the one that is very dry, very spicy. There's the absence of sweetness. Yes, it has cistus in here, which is a resin that can be a little bit sweet and exotic leaning, but for me, this is a very spicy, dry, herbal, and earthy type of a fragrance. A lot of cardamom, a lot of orris, a lot of cypriol in the dry down as well, otherwise known as nagarmoda. So it kind of has like this herbal, almost like a spicy vibe to it, which I think is going to be to a lot of people's liking, especially considering the fact that right around this time of the year, you're looking for a heavier option. You're looking for something with sustenance and longevity, something with brute force, right? Something that's not going to be wimpy and wispy, but something that is going to give you really, really good longevity. I do think that this is it, especially with the preponderance of all of the spices. Nevertheless, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the smell in just a moment. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get this spicy medley of cardamom, there's black pepper, there's saffron, and also there's tobacco. As a matter of fact, I get a lot of tobacco, and I know perfumer Claude Durr has used tobacco in many of his compositions in the past. I've had the opportunity to interview him here on the channel. I met him in person in New York City. He is an amazing perfumer, responsible for some amazing fragrances. And so I'm so glad to see that he is the perfumer behind this fragrance as well. And noticing that combination of ingredients, I said, this is definitely going to be a dark, spicy, bold, charismatic type of a perfume. And I do personally believe that it is all of those things. So you have the cardamom in the opening. It's a very smooth cardamom. And listen, here's the thing. I think the presence of the orris could make it a little bit powdery. So if you're familiar with fragrances like La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent, you're going to get something in that vein, but more mysterious, more masculine, and more sophisticated because of the saffron, which kind of gives a bit of a leathery touch, and because of the tobacco as well. So the tobacco and the dry down, for me personally, it is one of the star players of this composition. Now, I do think this is a cardamom forward fragrance. So yeah, you're going to get a touch of saffron, you're going to get the black pepper, you're going to get cypriol, which comes across smelling a bit spicy and herbal as well. But I do think it's mostly about the cardamom in the foreground, and it's about the tobacco in the background, right? Are there some other woodsy nuances? Yeah, even though they're not listed in the note breakdown. Do I get something else in here that might be a little spicy, maybe going beyond the cardamom, maybe a little bit of nutmeg, or maybe a little bit of whatever? Yeah, I think so. I think there are always secrets being utilized and implemented by the perfumers. You know, the perfumer's not going to release every single ingredient that is listed in the note breakdown. It always goes beyond that, and there's always a combination of naturals and synthetics, but this is a very spicy fragrance as it opens up in the vein of La Nuit de l'Homme, which is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. And I'm only dropping that as a frame of reference because that is a very cardamom forward fragrance, and so at least it might help make that communication possible for those of you who don't have a smell-o-vision set yet. Neither do I. But for me personally, this is a beautiful, spicy, slightly earthy, tobacco-laden composition, and I think it's beautiful. I honestly think this is a wonderful fragrance, and it's so different from everything else that the brand has put out. Yeah, there's a hint of spice and almond as well, and Tutta Italia is a very juicy, overripe, saccharine, fruity fragrance. Now here we have one that takes the sweetness away, actually goes down a very different trajectory, and I really do appreciate it for that reason as well. Again, not overly floral, save the presence of the Orris, and I do think it has a bit of that earthy, woodsy texture in the dry down that, again, is a really nice complement to all of the spices in the opening. As far as the tobacco goes, it's not this cherry moistened pipe tobacco as you would get in Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. So it's more of like a dry tobacco, like a Bois d'Ambry by Eau d'Italie, if you've ever tried that, or a Liquor BPM. This is a beautiful perfume. If you're a fan of some of the darker, spicier iterations on the market, if you like cardamom and tobacco, please check this out. Damascus #1 by Gentleman's Nod. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this is certainly a unique fragrance. Whether I drop frames of reference or not, it's just to put you in the mindset of what to more or less expect from this fragrance, but it is unique. I don't have, in a lineup, if you sprayed this alongside other tobacco-based fragrances or cardamom-based fragrances, I can definitely tell you which is which. Longevity, 8+ hours on skin. Projection, a little bit beyond an arm's length for about an hour and a half. And then it became an elbow's length scent right around hour 6, a skin scent right around hour 7 or 8. It's all going to depend on your skin chemistry, of course. In terms of the versatility, so this is, I think a lot of people would say, according to traditional standards, it's going to be a bit more masculine leaning. However, I think this one is great for the colder weather, so fall and winter, and especially on a cool spring evening, I think this would do very, very well. And I think this is more of a dressed up formal type of a scent as opposed to a casual or more playful scent. Tutta Italia, I think, is more playful. This one is definitely more dressed up, more formal, as it were. And as far as the presentation goes, I like this metallic plaque here on the front, the wooden cap, the atomizer, everything about it is really nice. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you're a fan of spicy cardamom, tobacco types of fragrances, you're looking for something unsweetened, something that is quite bold and charismatic, but also very sophisticated, something that would work perfectly in the colder months of the year, definitely check out Damascus #1 by Gentleman's Nod and participate in the giveaway. First link down below. All you have to do is just go to cephalabon.com, drop a comment on the article. Thank you again so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you took something of value from today's episode. And of course, if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.